Hey there world, I'm the Courageous Goldfish, and today we've got beef. So I am usually not overly bashy on this channel. Like, certainly if I have a negative opinion, I'll find a way to voice it, of course, but it's usually like kind of sugar-coated a little bit and like, you know, like kind of a calm, cool demeanor. I try, or at least I tend to try, to give the most benefit of the doubt possible. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I can do that today. My most recent figure unboxing turned into an absolutely inexcusably horrendous dumpster fire. And all I have to say is count your days, ORCATOYS. Count your days. Oh my god. So we all know on this channel I am a massive Erza Scarlet collector. I have a steadily growing collection of armor-clad red-haired women, and I am hardly ashamed to admit that. So this story starts like many on my channel do. I pre-ordered an Erza figure. On May 2nd, 2022, I placed an Amazon Japan pre-order for the 1/6 scale Erza Scarlet Flame Manjo Red version by ORCATOYS, and she was originally slated for release in September of that year, 2022. Well, 2022 was a pretty solid year for expensive Erza figures, and somehow, by January of 23, I had all three of my really expensive Erza scales slated to come out in 1 month. So that's where we start this story, with 3 incoming Amazon Japan pre-orders and a promising exchange rate. One thing that's nice about Amazon Japan is that you are actually able to pay for your figures in advance by buying an Amazon gift card and then applying the balance of that however you'd like to your pre-orders. So because the exchange rate was pretty good at the time, and because I knew I had 3 really expensive pre-orders coming up, I decided to buy a gift card for the exact amount I would need to pay off all 3 in full. First thing that happened, which I promise is absolutely relevant to the main story here, was that I had an entire ordeal even paying for the bunny figure in the first place. I purchased a gift card on December the 23rd of 2022 for the amount of 91,685 yen. All 3 had a slated release date for January 2023 at the time, and so I was actually able to pay for the pop-up parade and for the ORCATOYS one with no issues. But for some reason, it wouldn't let me use the remaining funds to pay off the Freeing bunny. Basically, the response at the time that I got boiled down to the fact that Freeing had already set a release date for the figure. She was coming out on the 16th of January, and Amazon Japan already had their stock, so they weren't able to switch the original payment method over to a gift card because of a system limitation. Now I want you to keep that in mind, the phrase system limitation, because it will be a mystery mouse tool that will help us later. Obviously, I wasn't super happy that I couldn't use the gift card. I had loaded a specific balance that was exactly the amount of the figure, and I didn't have any other pre-orders with Amazon Japan, so I was like, oh, okay, I gotta find a way to use this. Like, I'm kind of roped into using Amazon now until I pay off this gift card. Well, I went out for New Year's, and wouldn't you know it, I lost my card. It was completely not on purpose, but I lost the card that was associated with the order, and so I had to do yet another walk of shame to Amazon customer service to ask for help. Now, at this point, I had already been told that there was nothing they could do about the gift card, which, I mean, listen, I'm not here to be a pain in the butt. I'm not here to make anybody's job harder. If it can't be done, I'm not gonna force you to do the impossible, right? And so this time, I didn't even ask about that. I just said, hey, this is the issue. I was super apologetic about it. I'm like, I'm sorry, but like, I'm gonna have to change the card number on the order. Like, surely there's something we can do because like, I know this payment is going to bounce because the card number literally doesn't exist anymore. And again, their response was that they could do nothing because of system limitations, and that there was nothing I could do to keep the payment from bouncing. Now, keep in mind that this was still very new to me collecting bunnies. This was my first ever pre-ordered one, and so my preconceived notion was that the bunny aftermarket is always like a cutthroat and terrible place to be. So I was stressing that I was gonna miss out on this bunny because, I mean, like, Basically, my original order was just a complete moot point. I obsessively checked her page multiple times a day, waiting for her to get stocked so I could snipe one immediately, which eventually I did. The salt in the wound part of all of this is that she absolutely flopped on the aftermarket, and you can get her for like 18K new. But that's not the meat of the story. That's just the appetizer. After having had no problems paying for the other two and having my pop-up parade come and go without incident, I was pretty securely confident that this 1/6 scale was like paid for, done and dusted. That's why when month after month after month she kept getting delayed, I wasn't stressing because she'd already been paid for. All they had to do was ship her to me. I waited. I waited some more. And then finally, I received this email from Amazon customer service on September the 3rd, 2023. I'm sorry, payment declined? Why was payment declined? She was paid. She displayed a 0 yen balance for months leading up to this, and even when I went to check the order page at the time, it still displayed that there was a 0 yen balance on her. Like, I didn't owe anything for her. The only explanation that I had was that they had tried to charge her to my old card and it bounced, because, you know, it's lost. But even that didn't make sense, because why would they need to charge me if I had already paid? So I dragged my feet back to customer service and tried to figure out what the heck was going on here. Thank you for contacting us at Amazon Japan. This is Imai. How may I assist you today? Hello, the balance on this order is fully paid by gift card. Why does it require payment revision? Let me check. Okay, thank you for waiting. As I check, the gift card and credit card was chosen as payment method. Yes, but it is paid by gift card. Why was payment declined if I do not owe money? And your credit card has been declined. That may be the reason the payment hasn't go through. The order is paid. Nothing needs to go on credit card. I understand. I'm checking what we can do for you. Thank you for your waiting. As I check, your payment has been declined even though you have enough amount of your order because of the systemic issue. Remember that mystery mouse-tool I told you all to keep in your noodles from earlier? Yeah, it's come back to bite me in the butt yet again. At this point, I was just confused because I had even less of an idea why this had happened in the first place and even lesser of an idea of how we were gonna fix it. Okay, how do we fix that? To fix this, we need to cancel this order and release the amount to your account. This is a pre-order item with a locked-in shipping price. You see, this was a problem for a multitude of reasons. A, because I had pre-ordered her nearly a year and a half ago and she had gone up pretty drastically in price since, and B, because Amazon Japan usually has lower locked-in shipping rates when you pre-order something versus ordering it when the figure releases. So now, not only would I have to reorder the figure, but the refund to the gift card that I would receive for the original order wouldn't even be enough to cover the new one. So at this point, I start getting kind of frustrated, which I realize is completely not the fault of this rep in any way whatsoever, but it was getting pretty late at night and I was getting a little bit frustrated because ultimately, like, this was their mistake that I would now have to pay extra for. The item is still available in stock, so you can reorder it. But the shipping price will not be the same. This order's price is 31,433 yen. If I reorder, she will be 41,826 yen. I will not pay 10,000 yen more because of this mistake, which I thought was reasonable. I mean, like, I made a pre-order, and if you can't fulfill that pre-order because of a systemic issue that has nothing to do with me, like, I feel like I was in the right on that one. I'll check what we can do for you. Can you check how much the price it will be if you reorder this item shipped by Amazon? We can cover the price difference. 42,373. The exchange rate will not be the same to my currency as it was in January when I paid. This order owes no balance. It has been paid. All you have to do is ship it. I would prefer to have my original order shipped the way it is now.
Do it! Just do it!
We are very sorry, but we cannot ship it because of the systemic issue. In this case, we are going to cover the price difference of 6,882 yen. I have no idea where they got that number from because it was not even close to being right, the difference between the two. So I can't explain that. The difference is actually 10,940 yen because my original order is 31,433 and the new one is 42,373. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about this other than it was a complete pain in the butt for like absolutely zero reason. But Amai over there did some kind of like magical chant and I had a figure on its way to me for no extra cost. So I was stoked. I was like, great, this is the end. Problem solved, done and dusted. Boy, was I wrong. Here we go. Oh, man, this box is huge. Ooh. One thing I'm gonna note right off the bat is that she has like hot Cheeto Dorito ass orange legs. I did notice this in the promotional pictures that she did have airbrushed orange legs, but oh my god, in real life they are so orange. Like so orange. This is an interesting choice. Another thing that I do have to note is that the orange paint job leaks onto the thong that she's wearing. So if you did want to display this cast off, she is absolutely horrifically painted underneath. I will say, that is quite an unfortunate piece. Alright, so like I said, her pants do come separately here. Oh, that is a really strong paint smell, I'll be honest. Yeah, oh boy. Yeah. Yeah. I think disappointment would be the right word. This is just not great. This is just not good. The paint job is really terrible. Honestly. Yeah, okay, let's finish setting her up. I was thinking that I might be a little disappointed, but this is actually kind of on a different level. Like, I'm actually a little bit peeved that they're charging this much and delivering like this quality. First of all, she's tiny. I don't know in what fucking world this is a 1/6 scale figure. She is exactly the same size as any of my 1/7 scale figures, if not smaller. Like, honestly, she is probably closer to a 1/8 scale. And when they advertised it as 1/6, like, there is absolutely no freaking way that she is anywhere even close to that at all. Yeah, honestly, these pants are like an absolute travesty. An absolute travesty. Like, you can see that there. It's probably not even close up, but you can see like how bad the paint job is. Specifically because they have the lines where the flames should meet. And it's just completely painted over. Like, over the line, over the, like, not even remotely the same. Her back, completely yellow. Completely yellow. That should be red. All the stuff that you see, like, down here, should be red. The only place that Erza has yellow on these pants is on the bottom flames here, and that is absolutely not what is going on here at all. I also do believe, if I'm not mistaken, so I know for sure that her tie around these hakama pants is supposed to be white, but I am decently certain that it was white on the prototype for this figure as well. And so I guess they just decided to completely ixnay that. and just like not deliver on the details of this figure at all whatsoever, I am like, I'm actually almost flabbergasted, to be honest. This is really bad. I don't even know where these flames are supposed to like go. Oh, I forgot about the instructions. Maybe I'll actually look at those. Bro, her pieces don't even fit in. Oh my god. Oh, this is so bad. No. Yeah, so, this is great. This thing here, oh, yeah, okay. So this here is hollow. So it does absolutely nothing to support the weight of both the figure and the fire. The fact that she only has one contact point with the base right here, horrific. She leans out of the box. Like, you put her on the stand the way she's supposed to be, she's leaning forward. She is going to be a leaner. She is going to topple over. Because her foot pegs do not line up quite correctly, you can't quite get her in there snugly, and they're loose enough that when you pick her up, she just wobbles and falls right off of the fire. So like, A, the structural integrity is sh**. B, can we talk about how absolutely terrible this paint job is? This is bleed. On her stomach, there's bleed. This on the side, bleed. Bleed. All of that yellow on the back there is bleed. And on the side here, on the front, you can see where they've lined the fire and just absolutely completely disregarded that. Like, you can see how bad that is, right? Absolutely horrific. Not to mention the hot Cheeto legs, which I showed you earlier. Listen, I did know that she had that, okay? So that I can kind of understand, because I did know that that was going to be a thing. 33,000 yen for this. I think the f*** not. And I absolutely believe wholeheartedly that this is not a 1/6 scale figure. There is absolutely zero fucking way that this is a 1/6 scale figure. Y'all, it just keeps getting worse. I am taking her apart to put her back in the freaking box, and one of the pegs off of her pants just fully came off. Fully came off. One time I put these pants on and tried to take them off, and it's breaking like this. Like, are you actually kidding me? Just to show you up close what I was talking about with the orange, you can also see it on her stomach here as well. And on the back side as well, you can see. So even if you wanted to display this figure cast off the way that she is supposed to be made, you can't even do so, because look at that. That is absolutely disgusting. So at that point, if you're not gonna put the effort into making sure that this is fine for display, why are you even making her a cast off in the first place? Why not just mold her with her pants, huh? Like, I don't understand. She is absolutely terrible, horrifically, absolutely inexcusably bad quality. An absolute disgusting showing from ORCATOYS in almost every single possible way, and I do not say that lightly. Obviously, you saw her paint was atrocious. Her pants literally fell apart in my hands and were horrifically bad quality, stunk so bad of spray paint. She was probably bound to end up a major leaner, and to top it all off, absolutely zero chance under the sun that she was actually a 1/6 scale. Everywhere this figure is advertised, both on the original Amazon page and on the AmiAmi page, this figure is listed at 17.1 inches tall. Now, I will admit, at this point I was being a little bit of a petty bitch, and I was curious, so I busted out the tape measure. Only to find that she will barely, not even clear 15. Like, come on. First of all, 2 whole inches and a bit shorter than what was advertised. And compared with other 1/7 scale figures, she is very obviously closer in size to them. You can see here she's pictured next to my 1/7 scale Rem Yukata version, and even then that figure is on the smaller side for 1/7s I have, I would say. And you can see they are much closer in size than I am comfortable with admitting. I was so ready. I was so ready to excuse so much for this figure. A, because it was Erza and I'd waited a long time for it and I was really excited about it. But then also B, because of the whole rigmarole that was getting her to my doorstep in the first place. But I just couldn't. I could not live with it.
I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you?
I was so shocked and quite honestly, may I say disgusted by what they chose to send out. I think that ORCATOYS is on some kind of drugs if they think that they can charge that much for what they delivered. It was an absolutely disgusting showing. I am thoroughly disappointed. It absolutely flabbergasted. So herein we enter the final act, the returns process. Now, I was dreading sending in this return request for 2 reasons. One, because I'd actually never returned a figure before and she was opened, and then also B, because they had supplemented my order with a promotional credit, I knew that I was gonna have to fight a little bit to get all of my original money back. All I wanted was back the money that I had spent in the first place, which was the 31,433 yen. And I knew that they were not gonna give that to me right off the bat, and I was kind of gonna have to do a little bit of Karening to get there, unfortunately. And so I was dreading it. I was like, when I tell you, I wanted to avoid sending her back so badly, but I couldn't live with it. I could not live with it. I was like, I'm not gonna display you. Because every time I look at you, I'm gonna be like angry and disappointed. Like you're gonna stay in a box or I'm gonna like burn you, maybe. So I kind of felt like I didn't really have a choice. It does get a little bit complicated. So the gist of it basically is that in order for this to be a full and complete refund of all of the money that I paid for the figure, I would somehow need to end up with 31,433 yen back on my gift card because that was the amount of the original order. The actual return process itself wasn't outstandingly painful. When you initiate a request, they send you a commercial invoice for the post people and a barcode that you have to seal back in the box for the warehouse people. The crappy part was that the buyer has to pay the return shipping at first. The fine print of this is that you get your money back to your original payment method up to 12,000 yen. Anything above and beyond that goes back on a gift card. If I wasn't already so deep in with this goddamn gift card, I probably would have been mad about that, but I knew I had to find some way to spend the balance anyways, and so I was like, you know, sunken cost fallacy, I guess. It cost me $180.90 Canadian to send her back. She was only 5.6 pounds, so extortionate, first of all, and I picked the cheapest shipping option too, so, but that was that. She was on her way back, and all I could do was sit on bricks for a couple weeks and hope that everything worked out. Now, I'd never returned anything with Amazon Japan before, and I had heard through the grapevine by other people that had, that even if you are returning a figure for legitimate reasons, if they're opened at all in any way, immediately you will not get the full refund. And so I was scared because I was like, I mean, I did legitimately feel like I had a decent reason to want to return her. A, because she was broken, and then also B, like she wasn't as advertised, she was late, delayed, etc, etc. So I felt like I had a leg to stand on to fight for a full one, but I was nervous because I was like, I don't want to be a pain in the butt. Like I really was trying to just like make this as easy as possible for everybody involved whilst still getting what I felt like was fair. Obviously, I completely understand that rules like this need to be put in place to prevent people from being able to abuse the return system, but I was a little bit worried because, again, I did feel like I had a legitimate reason to return her. Luckily for me, after a week and a half of stressing, she was delivered safely and I was issued a full refund. Oh, but that is not where it ends yet, because I received this email and the shipping refund almost got real hairy. Hello, greetings from Amazon. Thank you for sharing pictures of return shipping receipt. I understand you'd like a refund of return shipping cost of the item. As you have paid from your gift card, to make things right, I've issued 12,000 plus 7,222 equals 19,222 yen, in brackets CAD 180.90, to your Amazon gift card balance. Oh. First of all, it is made extremely clear in their policy that you are refunded up to 12,000 yen to your original payment method. It says that in the policy. Like, that's just their policy. So I did need a partial gift card refund, yes, but I needed the 12,000 yen back to my credit card first. At this point, I was so resistant to sinking any more money in this goddamn gift card. I was like, no. Follow your policy. It is the only card that is associated with my account. You have it on file. Send it back to my Visa, please. So, after yet another round of tiresome emails, I finally got confirmation that they would be sending the 12,000 yen back to my credit card and giving me all of the gift card credit that I was owed, so all should be right with the world. Obviously, this was an incredibly torturous process from start to finish. Honestly, yes, ORCATOYS is the one that deserves the most heat here. They absolutely never should have sent her out in the condition that she was sent out in. I think it's quite frankly insulting that they would charge that kind of a price to then not even deliver on the scale. On top of her being really dog shit quality, I just think that's absolutely despicable. But I do think Amazon has some blame to take in all of this as well. I have absolutely nothing against the customer service team over there, nothing but love for the service reps over here. However, the process of fighting them at every single turn to right what were essentially their wrongs was an incredibly faith-shaking experience as a consumer. Obviously, I will be spending my gift card balance, but I cannot securely recommend that you use Amazon Japan just based off of my own experiences. I know a lot of people have really great things to say about them, and you can absolutely use your own judgment, but just based off of my own experiences with the few pre-orders I have had through them, I am hesitant to recommend that you use it. Yes, I am happy at the end of the day that everything seems to have turned out all right. I'm thinking, and hear me out, this might be the perfect excuse that I needed to pick up that strawberry Miku I've been drooling over for months. But I'd also be lying if I said I wasn't still at least a little bit angry. This whole thing is just a big mess of this should never happen to a paying customer, and honestly, I'm shocked at how badly I almost got burned this time. But anyways, that is the end of this tragic tale, and I sincerely hope that we never have to do this again. If you stuck around this long, thank you so much for watching. I'd love to hear what you guys have to think about this in the comments down below. If you've had similar experiences or just kind of what your reactions are to this whole mess, I'd love to know. It has been a while since I've been able to connect. Offline life has been extremely demanding recently, but I do have some really fun stuff that I'm working on slowly in the background as well that I'm really excited to bring to you. But of course, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the flip side.